When I wrote the book, I didn't think for 1 minute that it had potential to be optioned. And actually, let me go back a step because the true story of it is I wrote the article for the New Yorker. Someone at the New Yorker slipped copies of the story to a bunch of movie scouts. And I got called immediately by a million producers. And I was completely baffled because I didn't think for 1 minute that the story was a movie. I never gave it any thought. But people were adamant they wanted to option it. And I agreed to sell the option to Jonathan Demme and his production company with the provision that they wouldn't begin anything on the film until I wrote the book, because I already knew I was going to do a book. So they sat and waited for me, which was 2 years. And then when the book was done, they were off and running. I thought that Jonathan Demme was going to direct it, but he had passed it off then to Spike Jonze. And I knew they had hired a screenwriter, but I didn't know anything about him. This was before Being John Malkovich had come out, but it had already been circulating in Hollywood. So people were already talking about Charlie Kaufman, but I had no affiliation with Hollywood. You know, I lived in New York and I had an agent and I had sold options, but I didn't pay Hollywood very much mind at all. I didn't particularly think that the story would be developed. I couldn't figure out how they would develop it as a film. And I thought they're going to be disappointed when they read the book because it's not a dramatic crime. Nobody gets killed. You know, I joked around with friends saying, oh, they're going to take it and make it into a Hollywood movie with drugs and car crashes and murder. And, you know, that's the only way that they can make it a Hollywood movie because it's a very internal, sort of meditative book. Well, lo and behold, obviously, that is exactly what they did, but ironically, of course. I did not see the script until it was done. And it was given to me with many, many, many warnings that it was different from the book and there were people in it who are not in the book and we love it and we hope you'll love it and just read it with an open mind, and over and over and over, a million warnings. And I thought, geez, what could this possibly be? Like, why are they being so careful? And the first thing I saw was, of course, that I'm a character. And I thought, wait a minute, hang on, I did not bargain on being a character. And the more I read, it was not only that I was a character, but I was a character that was involved in doing a lot of stuff that was completely, first of all, not in the book. Secondly, outrageous. Being romantically involved with the subject, killing someone, using drugs, you know, all of the stuff where I went back to the producers and I said, well, look, I mean, you guys bought the option. It's not up to me to tell you not to make this movie, but you can't use my name because you will ruin my career. They said, come on, Susan, everybody's using their real name. It's important to the movie that we all use our real names. Charlie's using his real name. And I said, well, no, I can't. I'm gonna, for me, the thing that was worse was the idea that I was romantically involved with the subject. I thought that's so unethical. And I don't want people to think I'm unethical. I cared about that more than using drugs or murder, actually. And then for whatever reason, one day I woke up and I just thought, all right, fine, go ahead. I'll roll with this, whatever it is. And then they started casting. And the minute they started casting, and it was people who are, the most revered actors in Hollywood, I thought, wow, this is definitely not what I was expecting. And I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm along for the ride. The first time I saw the movie, I was in shock because, it's very strange to see yourself portrayed in film and to see Meryl Streep introduce herself as you, and you think, well, wait, no, you're not Susan Orlean. I'm Susan Orlean. But forever, until the end of time, people will think that Meryl Streep is Susan Orlean. And, the first time I saw the movie, I was too much in shock to really appreciate it. The second time I saw it, I thought, this is amazing. This is an incredible movie that I'm happier that this got made from the book than something that was more technically truer to the book. Because in many ways, this was truer to some of the thematic points of the book than a more kind of straightforward adaptation would have been. So, and I love the movie, and I think the fact that it has endured and people still look at it as a model of a movie about making movies, among other things, and about passion and pursuing your passion versus pursuing success, and what that means. And, it's a pretty profound piece of work, and it makes me really happy to have been part of it.